Good evening. My name is Jeannie Francis. I am Spirit to Soul Connection. Come join me for a cup of tea this evening, and we're going to talk about scrying. So, when you come in, if you could give me a thumbs up, let me know where you're coming from. And if this is on a replay, give me a hashtag replay and tell me where you're coming from. So I love to come in on Tuesday nights. When I had a shop in a brick and mortar, we used to call it Intuitive Tuesday nights, and we always had class. And we would always talk about something metaphysical, something that someone brought up, or we'd start with a theme. So today I still come to you for about a half an hour, a little more. And it's a freebie because I do teach these classes in a much in-depth class. But tonight we're going to talk about scrying, looking at hazing into a reflection. One of the best ways that I have always felt that people could aid themselves in opening up the third eye was meditation. The second is scrying. So as a little young person, I didn't know this had a name. I do know that my parents went camping a lot. My grandparents both had fireplaces inside and outside. And I have always been mesmerized by the flicker of a flame, the dance of a fire, the embers, and how they almost shape into different things like shape shifting. And I always felt that there was a message in that. And it wasn't until I was older and that I learned about things through reading Edgar Cayce and other books like that about how to do this. How do we relax our busy monkey brain, and how do we relax into our subconscious and start listening to our subconscious knows the best for us. Again, my name is Jeannie Francis. Give me a thumbs up when you get in here. Grab a cup of tea. And so tonight we're going to talk about scrying in different methods. There are many different methods that you can use, and you may find yourself thinking about when you were a young child, or when I was young, I used to have very high fevers as a child, so I do understand that comfortably numb and being in another space. So this is a way of us taking ourselves there. So I'm going to talk tonight about how to use different things that show reflection, show openings to other answers. Deviation, this is called deviation. So reading a tarot card is a deviation, reading tea leaves is a deviation. So there's many ways in which this is used. This type of method was even used and written about back in the early Egyptian days. This was something that all of our native cultures would sit around the fire. You know, there was no TV, there was no cable. They made their own stories. They did their own imaginary things. They also then did this as a group exercise to bring up the vibration of the group, to get answers and to get things. So I use this a lot for when I need some quick answers and meditation just isn't getting me there. So tonight we're going to work with, you can see on my little table, I've got a candle. And I love watching a candle flame. I always have. Watch it dance. Watch it move around. A lot of times when I'm working in the metaphysical field or with the paranormal field, I love taking a candle in because I can ask Spirit if it can raise the vibration of the candle. See, there it goes. Lower the vibration of the candle. I can ask it questions. I can ask it, it's snowy. It's very cold today in New Jersey. Is it going to snow? There's a nice flicker back and forth, so there's a possibility. So when you learn how to read the signs that the candle is giving you, you can then help that in your questioning, what you're looking for, and how you're going to approach this. So a lot of times if I'm doing a little candle deviation, I will sit in the dark and I will light the candle and I will wait till the candle gets its energies, and then I'll start asking questions, yes and no questions. But I also like getting the reflection So another way of scrying is to sit in front of a mirror, usually a larger mirror, and you stare into your face and you let your eyes get soft till everything gets just hazy, and allow yourself to go into that. Or I've turned the mirror this way and put a votive candle on top so that the reflection is on the top. Hi Athena, how are you? It's good to see you. So using a mirror is also great for reflection of the candle and its wick. But also in the mirror, you'll be able to get messages. You'll get symbolisms, lots of symbolisms. So instead of this being an answer in words like we use as humans, you will get symbols. I read someone a few weeks ago, and I kept seeing an eagle, and I kept seeing an eagle, and I kept seeing an eagle. And I finally turned to her and I said, there's lots of changes. She said, yes. In April, I'm moving to Washington State. I'm like, you're flying like the eagle. So we have to look at those little symbolisms and what do they really mean to us and how do they connect with us. So another one is scrying into a mirror. And I don't know if I can hold this up that you can see this. This is a beautiful labradorite. And you can see the reflection. It has a window on either side, and it is like a peacock type coloring that changes. Do you see that? So I love scrying into anything with a reflection. I will show you another one of my labradorite pieces that I adore. This is a heart, and it's got windows on both sides. So it's like an opal essence. You can see it back there. Another thing I use for scrying, and this is onyx. And I will put this on top of a bigger mirror, and I'll put a votive candle around it so that the light can go through there, and I can get mesmerized as I see the flickering of the candlelight and the changing of the colors in the obsidian. Another thing I like to use as reflection is perithium. This is good old pyrite, fool's gold. I have a few pieces that are really nice and big, and I love putting them on a great big mirror with some tea lights and my labradorite, and I'll use that for scrying. And then I got this piece for Christmas. I'll explain this piece. This is a quartz, and because of the crystals inside, it's called a dootsy. But this crystal, this quartz crystal, has been chemically and heat altered, so it now gives it like that copper reflection. And I'm usually not up for pieces that have been altered. I really happen to like raw things, but this caught my eye at the Venus Moon in Williamstown. And when my husband saw it, he goes, do you want that? I'm like, that'll work for Christmas. So find things that can reflect. Egyptians used to use shells, anything that they could reflect even in the sunlight. You can, instead of using a candle, you can do this in broad daylight by reflecting up to your face and gazing into your face till you get that soft, and it's like everything blends. I remember sitting around fireplaces, and we have a fire pit outside, and I love it when I just go into the flames and the embers. And it's like the rest of the world kind of leaves me. And I ask for answers, I ask for symbolisms. So a lot of times, including when we do tea leaves and you sip the tea and leave the tea leaves in there and whirl them around the bottom and then let it stop, you watch how the tea leaves react. Sometimes they will show you animals or trees or just symbolisms. So it's always interesting because they can be interpreted different ways. But I always try to see, is there an animal in there? Is there a totem animal in there? Is there something there that's connecting with me that I need to pay attention to? Another way that you can do deviation is you can get like a, I have a black bowl that I'll fill with water, and I'll put it outside with a bunch of candles lit around that. That is a great way of going into just a total meditation and just mesmerized. I'm just into the water and mesmerized. So that reflection is also another neat way of doing it. when I am doing my gazing, seeing. However, it's in Victorian times, it was called seeing into the future. I keep a journal with me, so I write down all the little things I've seen, what happens around me, what caught my eye, especially if I'm doing this outside at night. What sounds did I hear? How did I connect? What was I connecting with on earth? What needed to connect with me in my soul? Another thing that we can do is something that's called a crystal grid. And so I take crystals and we form them into a certain energy pattern with the different crystals to bring in that energy. And then I will put something in the center, whether it's a candle or it's a bowl of water or it's an offering. I also do this as an offering to my ancestors on a full moon. I thank them for being my ancestors and making my life so much easier. We are blessed because of our ancestors and how hard they worked. So I also use crystal ball. I use this a lot, but I'm really into my my lavender. I love using, if I'm sending healing and Reiki healing, I'll sit with my, I have a great big piece of amethyst. If I'm needing to clear things, I'll sit with a great big selenite wand. In fact, I'm going to move this gently and I'll get my selenite wand. This is my selenite wand. Comes with a really great story. My husband and I, 6 years ago, we were visiting our daughter and family in Michigan, and we were doing some yard sales. My husband went back in this garage, because I have two pieces this size. And he yelled, "Come here, come here, come here." And I went back, and I'm looking at it, and it had $5 on it. I'm like, $5? Are you kidding? So my husband asked the gentleman, he goes, well, what do you want for those? He goes, you can take both of them for $7. And I thought, grab it, grab it, grab it, and run. So it was interesting because when we came home from Michigan, I happened to have this wrapped carefully in my carry-on bag, and I got pulled aside, and the TSA agent, 20 minutes later, told me if I could open my bag, and he wanted to know what was in there. And then I said, well, I think it must be 2 selenite wands. And he said, what's that? And so I said, I'll pull them out for you. And he said, not until my supervisor gets here. I'm like, okay. You know, we don't want to mess with anything. Okay. I want to get home. So when the supervisor came, she was a beautiful young woman. She reached in, and I said to her, be careful, they're selenite. She pulled them out, and they were wrapped up in tissue paper, and she unwrapped them both. And she looked at the guy, and she goes, are you kidding? That is the most beautiful selenite wands I have ever seen. She said, lady, where did you get them? And when I told her, $7, she said, wow. She handed me my bag back, and she goes, can you please wrap them up? I don't want to break them. So my selenite wands come with a very fun story. And I believe the person that I got them from, he had no idea because it was his aunt's estate that he was liquidating. And so I'm always blessed to have this. And this is one of the, when I'm deviating under the full moon or I'm deviating on a problem, this is one of the crystals that I work with. Not so much as a reflection, but because of the energy that it brings in and the clearing that it brings in. Especially we've been through some interesting times since COVID. Things have gotten really wild on all fields, and I'm not going to bring up what those fields are, but it's going to be even wilder. It's almost like the Wild Wild West has come out of the woodwork, and now that's how we all live. So think about the crystals that you can use. Think about the finding yourself scrying. Find a quiet place. It's a meditative thing. It's just quiet. Even if I will play what my kids call la 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 music, like spa meditative music, I'll play that while I'm scrying. Sometimes I'm scrying to find an answer to a question. Sometimes I'm just scrying because what does universe have to tell me today? And what should I be paying attention to? So look at how the flicker of the flame is. How does it answer you? How is it giving you answers? We also, there is, when we do crystal grids, and I put a candle in a glass, I'll usually put a little water in the glass to give energy movement. And when I light that, depending on where the flame has charred the edge, will also tell you which directions you should be looking in. I come from the type of shamanic background, so we're always opening the four corners and bringing in our ancestors and our animals and our guides. And so a lot of times when I see the dark soot on one side, I'll figure out what direction is that? What direction do you need to focus in on your life that this candle is telling you about? So think about how you can do your candles. I happen to be, as my husband says, I'm a candle fanatic, but it's also, I have two girlfriends who own a business called Coventry Creations, who make absolutely gorgeous candles, and they've been in business for 35 years, and I'm very proud to know them. So yes, I have their candles also. I light them often. I love their intention candles. I love their Motor City oils. I love Aunt Jackie's devotion candles. So they're all awesome. Take a look at Coventry Creations. They're from Ferndale, Michigan. And right now my darlings in Ferndale, Michigan have been quite snowed in. I've been getting pictures from everybody out in that area. And I have some pictures from my friends up in Buffalo, New York, and some pictures from friends in Massachusetts. It seems like New Jersey had an umbrella over it, and everything keeps heading the other direction. Which at this point, I'm ready for spring. Ma nature has been very mild here in New Jersey, and it's kind of like I'm ready for her to move on, save your winter for next year, because we're over it now. I'm ready to do gardening. I'm ready to play in my yard. So if you have any questions on this deviating, let me know. Post it up here. If I don't see it till later, I will answer you later. And I think it's only you and me, Athena. So how are you? Waiting for answers to be typed. And the wind here today has been something else. We've had a few trees drop some great big branches. I'm like, ooh, that's not so fun. And some of the wind was really whipping around today. I thought, okay, hold on. So who knows what New Jersey will be holding for the next few weeks. But we can at any time. I know I get snow. We can. And I'm right now looking at the snow and all this rain as just water for the roots for all the trees and all the perennials that will be coming up this summer. So I look forward to talking to you again. I love coming in and giving these little blips rather than something really long and drawn out. I had someone ask me why I only did 20 minutes, a half an hour. I said, because after about an hour and a half, that's like teaching a class and then I should have gotten paid. So instead, I'm just enjoying sharing what I do with people out there in the Facebook world. And it is good to see you all. Stay warm. I'll talk to you soon. And if you have anything that you'd like us to discuss, a theme, please put it in the comments, and I will gladly see that we can do that in the next few weeks. I'll be talking about on Thursday what's in your cup. We're going to talk about, I know this allergy season's going to be bad. I see all the pollen coming out on things 6 weeks early. So on Thursday, I will be talking about the emergency herbs to use when the allergies have just gotten to you. Because I see that this is going to happen this year, and I think everybody should start getting prepared now. Cut out all your dairy, cut out all your white flour, try to keep down all foods that make mucus, and try to use nettles and different herbs that I will talk about on Thursday. So I always love coming, having a cup of tea with you. I hope to see you all soon. Spring for me is around the corner. My garden's going to look lovely. We'll have to get together for a cup of iced tea. So it's good to see you, Athena, and everybody else that joined in. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a where you're coming from. Tell us, what kind of theme would you like to talk about? What would you like to talk about next? what is in this wonderful world of metaphysics, working in the ghosty field. I will be doing some interviews in the next few weeks with a few paranormal teams. I'll be also helping run an event at Fort Mifflin. You'll be able to see me the end of May at Fort Mifflin. And so I wish you all come out. Let's go find some ghost hunting. Let's go have some fun. Let's go try working with our third eye. And let's connect with our heart and our soul. So I wish you a good evening. Stay warm. Again, my name is Jeannie Francis. I own Spirit to Soul Connection. And I have a few new things coming out besides some interviews. So I'll let you know about those things on Facebook in the next few weeks. Have a great evening. Stay warm. Stay out of the wind. Stay well. Have a good evening. Bye.